Hey now, and welcome to Book of Stern, a Horse to Jackass, episode 2. Unfortunately, this week we don't have Natasha with us, but you've got me, Tony, and your other co-host, Paul. Say hi, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're gonna have to settle for the two of us this time.
I don't think that's too bad, but they'll live without Natasha just this week.
All right.
Okay, so this week we're going to be talking about great man.
Our boy.
Good. Maybe was one time good friend of the show, but not so much these days. And hopefully still a good in recovery, doing well in recovery addict, Artie Lange. And
sir.
Yep. To kick things off, sadly, last week we lost a great comedian, great Canadian, Norm MacDonald, or MacDonald, if you like the way that. Certain people pronounce it, the Dave Letterman, not Evil Dave, the real Dave Letterman, right. MacDonald, with emphasis on the Mac. But we lost Norm, which is a great loss, and nobody saw it coming. And unfortunately, he was a young guy. Actually, we lost him to cancer, and he had a nine-year battle with cancer, from what I hear. Unfortunately, he just kept under wraps, and that's almost a decade, man. That's a long time to keep cancer under wraps, I gotta say. But so 9-year battle with cancer, and he lost. And one thing about Norm, there's a lot of things about Norm, but one crazy, amazing thing about Norm was that he was actually the reason that Artie Lange was introduced to the Howard Stern show back in the day. He came in on a guest appearance with him, and they were telling stories. I think, Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, but was that the time they told the Bob Uecker story, or was it another time that they told the Uecker story?
As far as I remember, that's when that kind of story debuted.
Yeah, so they tell this Bob Uecker story, for people who don't know or were too young to be alive. Uecker, back in the day, was this guy. He was on a show, Mr. Belvedere TV show, but he was also a baseball sports announcer. And so they tell this crazy story about how they have a mute button basically for when they're sitting up in the booth announcing the game. And I'm not gonna do it because I'll probably fuck it up. I could probably tell it funny if we had time to prep for it and I sat there and listened to the whole spiel. But I'm not gonna do that to the bit. It's too good. Go watch it on YouTube. Just look up Artie, Norm, and Howard. Boom, you'll find it. But they tell this great Bob Uecker story, and they're both doing the impersonation of the guy, and they're both nailing it, spot on, excellent. And from that point on, it just seemed like Stern kind of had this fascination with both Norm and Artie. And then after that, Artie came back in when they decided they wanted to test people out for the Jackie chair. Well, when they did that, it's kind of like the time Bigfoot came in to when they did the contest to see who'd be the next Black Packer.
How long before that did Jackie leave? It was a while. Right?
Yeah, he had left, I think, sometime in '99, if I'm not mistaken. And then,
okay.
Or maybe, no, you know what? No, that is too early. It was like late 2000. It had to be. I'm just thinking about, I know where I was working at the time, and I was working there in 99, 2000, so I remember it all going down around that time, but that could have been anywhere in a 9 month span or so.
Even like that whole like Jackie thing, like, I don't know, were you a big fan of Jackie or no?
I thought he was funny. I even bought one of his books. And I mean, I didn't think he was the greatest. I liked I liked it better when I think he added an element to the show, kind of like Artie did, and it made it its own certain era.
For sure. I mean, it to me, Jackie is a product of his time. Obviously, his time on the Stern show.
Yeah.
And like, I guess to me, he wasn't. I don't know. He added some things, but it wasn't. I don't know. He wasn't good enough, like like Artie was. He didn't make me laugh consistently like Artie did. I know he did a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I know he did a lot of like voices and the phone call stuff. But I don't know. To me, Jackie was, because I kind of jumped into Howard late. Like I didn't start listening to Howard until like maybe, I don't know, 98, 99 or so.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like a little bit after Jackie, and after hearing a lot of like the old Stern tapes, Stern Anthology and stuff. It's like, I don't know, like Jackie wasn't, well, in the movie as well. I guess to me Jackie was just kind of like I don't know, his whole demeanor of like, him and his wife saying like he's not getting paid enough. I know he left the show a few times, came back. and then left for good. And it's like, where is he now? Like obviously he wasn't one to make it on his own without Howard, and he always thought he would, and he was always asking for money. And I don't know, he just, I guess it was more like a thorn in the side of Howard. So like, yeah, I never was a big Jackie fan. And obviously I was a big Artie fan because I was listening by the time Artie was on and a permanent station of the show. So yeah, like I said, I don't know, I never was one to like miss Jackie. He was, to me, I don't know, just kind of like an afterthought. So yeah, with Artie on, he was, I don't know, much more of a better fit to me to the show.
Yeah, and interestingly, there was a period where both Billy West and Jackie were on the show at the same time. And if you ask me, I mean, Billy would have been someone who I would have rather seen in the Jackie chair than Jackie.
Yeah, totally.
And, like, Jackie felt like he belonged with the show to a degree, like whether you liked him or not. He still felt like, this doesn't feel like a mismatch. It still feels like a fit, but just an odd one. And if you ask me, Billy was a fit, but Billy was like a spot on fit. He was like, he wasn't great. Artie because he wasn't the mess that Artie was. He was one of those guys who had gotten into sobriety earlier in his career and straightened himself out and was able to do really well for himself. There's a few comedians that are like that. I think, I don't remember if Attell went sober or not, but a few guys have just gone sober and then been able to keep it straight. But because a lot of those guys I deal with a lot, but Billy West was one of them, and Jackie was kind of one of them. I mean, he was a pothead, but I don't count that. So and for that, but Jackie was a greedy dumbass who just wanted more than he was probably worth. Still thinks he's worth more than what he probably is. Because I've seen recent videos of him, and he's still out there putting in work. I mean, I'm not hating on Jackie too hard. He's still hustling and still doing his thing, so good for him. It's just his shit got tired fast. Like, some of his jokes are funny to me when I first got familiar with Jackie, and then I was like, okay, I like Jackie. But then as time went on, it was like, okay, this is the same tired Jackie shit over and over again, and okay, it's not funny anymore no matter how many times he laughs at it. You know what I mean? So like, I'm looking Jackie, at, but
I guess it's March 2001 is when he left.
There you go. So it was already 2001, early 2001, but 2001. Yeah. And then then I guess probably within a year is when they replaced him with Artie.
Well, yeah, it says, I guess they had a contest. Yeah. It says win Jackie's money.
Yeah.
And I guess there was like auditioning for the vacant seat.
Right.
Which is cool. So yeah, Artie Lange was on there, Craig Gass, Doug Stanhope, Jeff Ross, even Jim Florentine.
Oh yeah, Florentine.
So that whole thing. So yeah, I guess that's when he kind of came in. Trying to see. Yeah, it looks like around 2003, 4, or is around when he came into Howard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's funny too because like guys like Florentine after were regulars, but they didn't quite cut it, Yeah,
they didn't.
Like I said too, I think it was something about the way that he liked the way that Artie and Norm were together, and I just think he liked those stories. So he thought, oh yeah, this guy knows how to work with other people, maybe, and thought he was a good fit. Thought his comedic timing and stuff was good, like his impersonations. I'd say because Howard, he's always in business mode, so he's always analyzing everybody super hard, and I think that's what he did. And I think he saw the potential there. And I think the thing is, too, I think he even maybe saw the potential for what he'd be as a train wreck, but he accepts that because he likes that to spill over for on-air stuff, I think. You know what I mean? Like, it's taking a little bit of real life and a little bit of, fantasy and then combining the two together and then producing a show, so that it's indistinguishable then from reality. You're like, I don't know, is this legit or not? Because there's times you question it. Like, is this a bit or is this for real? Like we all know that when Artie threw shit at Teddy and chased him out, that was a real thing because Teddy never came back after that, and then Artie ended up, leaving and had all those problems. So it's like, those things were, even if some of them might have been embellished, they were legit. They were something that actually happened. At least I think.
Yeah. No, totally. And just kind of, reading Artie's, his constant, not only alcohol but drug use, and it was just like, I don't know, he went to rehab so many times, kept lapsing, and it's just, it really is a sad mess of a human that and like even at one point, after I think his second suicide attempt, Howard was just like, okay, he has to not come back.
Yeah.
I'm sure it killed him because how Artie was such a great addition to the show, but for his own well-being,
Mm-hmm.
kind of Howard just kind of had to say like, you need to stop, because it's, obviously it was doing well for his career because he was earning crazy money for doing his stand-up,
Mm-hmm.
and all the tours he was doing, and all it was really doing was feeding his addictions.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like very much a double-edged sword because you want Artie on there, but him being on there is just gonna give him more money to feed his addiction.
That's absolutely true. Yep.
Yeah, so it was really sad. But I mean, it's obviously not. I don't want to make this a big downer about Artie,
No.
because I mean, we obviously love his time on the show, and just there's plenty of times of instances where Artie was just a big highlight of many episodes of Howard. Particularly like when Iron Sheik was on, Eric the Midget actor.
Oh man.
Just it was so great their back and forth, and it's I don't know. I have many great memories of Artie, and like I said, it's sad to see and hear of his of his addictions and stuff. But yeah, no, just I mean, so like what are some of your favorite like Artie moments that you can remember?
I mean, favorite, it's hard to pick, but like recent that I have in my head, like this morning I was just listening to the time they were in Vegas and he was gonna shoot hoops against that chick for money.
Oh right.
Yeah, and Michael Buffer was the announcer there, and it was like, oh shit, it had it all official, But yeah, like I mean that's a good one, but I wouldn't put that as one of my favorites. I don't. It's so hard to pick. Like kind of sometimes it was just these little one-off shots, but like. I mean, we're gonna do a whole episode actually at one point about. I wanted to actually put this in the list, and we'll do this with Natasha hopefully when she's feeling well. But I wanted to do one of the best like blowouts on the show or best Artie fight moments because he's had so many different fights with people. Where, like he fought with like Sal and Richard. He fought with Teddy, obviously his assistant. He fought with Bowie for a while, where he was just constantly bickering with him. And then he fought with. Well, I mean, he used to get in arguments all the time with just rando people.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorites was the Angry Alice.
Oh God!
So, and when she like turned into a demon, had to keep like calling her angry.
You motherfuckers made me this way, and she's all yelling and shit. God, that is great.
She's like, I hate you. Like, oh, she's like, oh, it was so great. Yeah, he just kept like egging her on. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
And then just like obviously, like I said, his stuff with Eric the actor because. Eric would always just blow up on him like
he knew how to press the guy's buttons, dude. Like
he did. Fred that was so great.
Could just light him up like with nobody, dude. Yep, easy.
God damn, it was so great. Yeah. Because like I mean, every time because I mean, Eric was like pretty much the entirety of Artie's stay on the show. Mm-hmm. So it's whenever you're gonna hear an Eric clip, you'll most likely be hearing Artie as well. So it just they coincide.
Pretty much,
and it's just it's a great just era of the show, and it's it's a shame they're both gone.
Yep. There's there's this one station that I am not subscribed to, but it comes up a lot on my feed on YouTube. But they have nothing but Eric the Midget stuff, and every like the only time that you don't hear Artie there with him is either A, if it's post 2010, or B, if it was sometime when he was out because he was fucked up, and that's pretty much it. But every other time it's him Artie, just like when it's Wendy and
or even like Gary,
Gary
Conqueror.
Gary.
It's all right. So yeah, just like I said, it's really a shame that he really couldn't, keep it under control. And, we've talked about this before, how he would like fall asleep on the air, and just obviously him being late.
Actually, that's one of my favorite moments with him. Now you made me think of it. The time they got him the couch and just let him sleep, like they fucking rolled with it, and they got him. Dude, that was pretty great. And then my other one is Lord of the Anal Rings. I like that one for some reason.
Oh God, yeah.
It was just weird and hilarious, and you could tell like in a way he was even kind of. I feel like he loved doing it, but it was kind of he knew it was weird at the same time. I think.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And anytime something like gay would happen, like someone would like Richard would get naked or something, and he just Artie's like discomfort was just so a parent, and he's like, "What are we doing?" It's like he would be, I don't know, just his reactions would just make it all the more funny.
The 143,
Oh god,
or so.
yeah.
Oh my god, dude, the emotional friend. Oh my god, dude. Didn't he have like an emotional friend T-shirt or something, or somebody made one?
I think so.
Funny,
Yeah, it's great.
God, dude. So yeah, there was so many fucking amazing Artie moments. Even that time, even when he was gone, and that time, like I've never heard Howard get so serious and yet so firm with he's gotten firm with callers, but it was a really weird and eerie thing where everybody just shut the fuck up that time that caller called and asked about Artie post everything, and he was the one and only time he talked about it. Like that was really intense and weird, and
it was, and it was
indicative of how much it got under his skin a bit, or how things got.
Yeah, and it was definitely was sad. Like I remember hearing not long after his second, I think it was the second suicide attempt, where he like. I'm reading it says he drank bleach, slit his wrist, and the slitting or stabbing himself with a kitchen knife. And
he stabbed himself in his abdomen 10 times, I think. Is that right? Was it 10 times?
Yeah, 9 times. There's a 13 kitchen knife. So it's like,
shit.
God, I remember like a little bit after hearing about it and then to the show, and Howard was very quiet about it and didn't want bring light to it because of what happened, and it was just like, God damn, like. Obviously, you don't know what's going on in their minds, but it's like I don't know. You feel like God. He has a great gig. He's talking to Howard every day, and he's pulling this big money, and just, obviously his demons got the better of him.
Yeah, I think it's that a lot of people don't understand how it is to have like an addictive mentality like that.
Yeah.
And like to me, the way that he did things and the ultimate way that everything ended makes sense because there was no other way for it to go for him. But for everybody else, they're just like, "How could you fuck this up?" And it's just like, he is an addiction. That's how that's fucked his whole life up. So no matter how successful he is, it'll never amount to much because he'll always screw up somehow.
Yeah, it's almost like a countdown. You just know it's like he's gonna, either get arrested again or just even die. And it's just like, oh man. It really sucks because everyone loves Artie and he really is a talented dude with his comedy, and so just I do miss him, and it's kind of sucks too. It's like he never came back. He never made any attempt to like at least call in, and when someone mentions Artie nowadays, Howard's just like, well, I hope he's doing okay. They haven't spoken. And I know Artie has like, I don't know, he's talked crap before for some reason.
He has.
About Howard.
Yeah.
Which is weird, like I think he mentioned something about like he's different in his interviews now. But so it's like, it makes you wonder what's going on then, but...
He's flip-flopped a few times, right? Where he said like he was angry with Stern and he was saying all that shit about Marcy Turk and all that shit, and then all of a sudden he just kind of relented on it and was like, "No, I'm all right with Stern." I think this runs in the cycles of he was using, then he wasn't, and when he was using, he was kind of like, fuck him." And when he got sobered up, he's like, "No, you know what? All this shit is my fault, and I was just in a bad fucking place."
Yeah.
At least he hasn't outright said that, but I mean, it seems that way to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. I have no idea. But
no, I think you're. I think it sounds like you're spot on. It's just it really is. Why talk crap when this man, gave you a steady gig and gave you plenty of opportunity to grow your comedy. And so it's, I don't know. It's odd. Like I said, maybe he was just in a bad place. But it's like what crap does he really have? What like does he have to stand on when it comes to Howard? It's like what bad did this man do to you? That's why I kind of didn't get, and it's it really is sad because Howard is, I feel like anyone that's on his show, he treats him like gold. Even we've talked like with Benji, like Benji, as much as people don't like him, obviously Howard sees a benefit keeping him around.
Yeah, he sees value in him,
Yeah, totally. So I'm sure he obviously felt the same about Artie, and so I'm wondering if maybe because Howard thought that the show maybe isn't going to be beneficial to his life. Obviously, it's making these problems, and so he didn't, have him come back on the show. He felt like it was a betrayal, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, who knows? Who knows why? Where the animosity comes from? when he's talking about him now. And yeah, like I said, it's sad, and it's, I don't know, it kind of bums me out for sure. But obviously Howard is fine. He okay on his own.
Yeah.
It's he obviously already left many great memories and laughs with the show, and so yeah, it's sad nowadays. And I think even like somewhat recently he was arrested again, I think. And God, looking at his freaking mugshots, and like he has like no nose, and it's just like, God damn.
Yeah, those are
it's awful.
Yeah, some really bad times for him, dude. And the way he tells stories, it's like, I don't even know what's true about how he fucked his nose up. Is it because of the glass up the nose? Did that really happen? Did he snort glass by accident? Or had he just been snorting so much shit that it fucked? Because if you do enough drugs like that,
I think that's what it was. Yeah, the bridge of your nose. Yeah.
So
and it collapses itself, and it's it's freaking nuts. And looking at him today, it's like, God, it doesn't look anything like him. And
no,
yeah, it's nuts. But like I said, it's hard to. It's easy obviously to pick up all the demons, but just there's so many great moments of Artie on the show, and like I said, it very much is a golden era to me of Howard, because it's he went with him to Sirius, and it's that to me it feels like that was like Howard as he reached his peak, because obviously a lot of stuff back in the day were great and it's funny, but man, when he went to Sirius, he was able to really let loose and do all the things he wanted to do uncensored, and not having to worry about anything. And like I said, Artie was a great fit. He really was like a staple of the show.
Definitely.
And it was and it's great. Just even coming, you just think about the moments of like the pitch, Gary's pitch, and just I don't know, all the sports stuff. I don't know. I liked hearing him talk and hearing his opinion on things.
Yep.
And yeah, like I said, he was always funny. He was always coming in with like these quips, and I don't know. I like when Howard laughs. Like I know when people make Howard laugh, I always like.
Mm-hmm.
And Artie did that a lot, and it's, I don't know. It like I said, it really Artie's a very big bright spot in Howard Stern show.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So it's just like I said, there's a lot of great highlights, and a lot of like stuff that like I remember hearing the fight with his assistant.
Yeah,
and it was just like, oh, that was like, man, that was rough. Like I felt bad for Teddy, and I felt bad for Artie, because Artie, he felt very. It seems like he was very liberal with his money. He didn't mind helping people out. He made a lot of money, and he would always, lend people money or was buying people stuff, and yeah, he just seemed really nice when it came to that. Like he had almost like he had more money, like he didn't know what to do with it. Like he had so much money. So he was always like, helping people out, and obviously this guy was in a tight spot and needed dough, and Artie gave it to him, and was like fighting it back, and like I think he tried to like tackle him, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
During that episode,
well, he threw a bottle at his head, and then he chased him, and they tried to charge at him, but they held him back, and then Teddy ran out the door. But yeah, I mean, he even thought about. They asked him if he was going to press charges against him, and he decided not to. But it's just that Artie was a mess, and but I mean, in spite of that, like you were saying earlier, that he had that thing like Richard Pryor, where he was a good orator and a good storyteller, so he could really paint a vivid picture for you, and make something come to life for you, and be these people and these characters. Like even post the show, there was this one time we were just Natasha and I were driving around listening to bits in the car, and like we were listening to Artie on somebody's podcast, I think. I don't even know what it was. And it was like a post, and he's telling this story about this fucking lady when he's doing this show on the road, this gig, and then like I guess the punchline was that she was sitting on the fucking can, and she yelled from the bathroom like, "I'm taking a dump," and the way he does the voice, like of the lady and everything is just fucking so hilarious. And again, the picture that he paints in this story is so like vivid and funny that you're just like, this guy's fucking amazing. Like whether he's drunk, sober, it doesn't matter. He just he knows how to do it. He
just has that comedy mind, and it's like, God.
Like it really is Richard Pryor thing, he's got that.
Yeah, totally. It's one of a kind, and that's just like what I definitely appreciate about Artie. He was so quick-witted and clever when he came to, like he was never one to talk over people in the show. he always was just like the one that kind of slipped in with like a funny saying in between these conversations, and it was always, to me, it was gold. Every time, and it's just, it really is. It does make me miss him on the show because, after him we got fucking Benji. Like, oh, just it didn't compare. And just it really was.
I don't
sad.
hate Benji the way you hate Benji, but I
know.
We talked about this. But
yeah, but like
he's annoying though. There's times where he's just like, okay, shut the fuck up, Benji, like that.
Yeah,
and especially when something he's doing isn't working, it's like, okay, dude, nobody's laughing, and this thing's not working, so shut the fuck up, Benji.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
But it's one of those things where he doesn't know when to stop.
Yeah, his shtick is just it's so annoying to me. But yeah, like I said, he's a pale comparison when it comes to Artie and his wit and everything.
Yeah, I mean, they're different types of comedians, and
Yeah.
And sometimes I think he's trying too hard, Benji, to push this whole like Andy Kaufman, trolling thing, but it's not. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not really. It doesn't work for him. Yeah. I mean, when he's writing bits that are funny, I think he's doing a better job, is what I think it is.
Yeah, that's what, like, like you said, like, he's a good writer. So I was like, okay, maybe more behind the scenes, he's great.
Right.
But and,
then
funny.
To that,
but yeah, the on air stuff. It's just like, man, I can't stand it.
No,
that's why I'm kind of glad he got kicked out of the studio, because it definitely benefited the show, in my opinion.
Like you said, he's no Artie.
Yeah, no, totally, and he's probably just better suited behind the scenes writing stuff.
He's just like, I'm the fat guy. I can be the next Artie. It's cool.
Yeah, that's what he thought. Yeah,
it doesn't work that way, dude.
Yeah, no, totally. So yeah, it's like I said, I don't know, like Artie. I loved Artie. I actually have his book. I haven't read it. I got his book, but that's just one that and I kind of feel like I would always root for Artie, and he. Just because of his time on the show, and I enjoyed him on Mad TV, and yeah, his stand up was always great, and so like I have no ill will against the dude. It's just it's sad his demons kind of took over once too many times, and maybe I'm also holding out hope that one day he'll call Howard and just have a conversation with the dude, and just kind of, I don't know, let bygones be bygones, and I don't know, at least maybe just show a little appreciation for what Howard did.
Yeah.
So I said one can only hope. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I wish well for Artie, and
when we got
I hope he's doing well.
When we get to the 10-year mark last year, I just thought, if it hasn't happened yet, it's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah. It sucks, but hey, one could hope, but that's not it's not high on the list of people that need to talk to Artie.
He's gone back and forth between, and I don't think it's a Howard thing in this case, only because he's gone back and forth where he'll actually communicate with Jackie, even no matter how much he can't stand him. Yeah, there was times where, I don't know if you remember, but they even got Jackie some work at Sirius for a while, where he was working on.
Oh right, Jackie's Joke Hunt.
Yeah. And so I mean, they were being cool with them again for a bit, but they don't ever want him back on the show. But to the degree, right. I mean, the fact that in no way, shape, or form has Artie ever done that, I think is more Artie's thing than it is his. I think Artie feels spurned by him, but he knows ultimately that it's his fault.
Why do you think, though? Why do you think he feels spurned by him?
I think he feels like, again, I think he knows how Stern is as analytical as he is, and I think he knew when he was being fucked up, and when he was fucked up, but he knew it was good for the air, even when he was using, and so he played it off like, no, I don't know. Remember, I mean, if you remember, Stern's whole thing was always, I don't know, I don't think he's using, every time everybody's, and Robin will be like, oh yeah, no, I mean, come on, it's so obvious, he's obviously high. I mean, and everybody else, Bowie too, everybody could see it, but Howard's was like, no, I don't see it, playing some innocent horse shit. Like, okay, so dude, you're not a fucking babe in the woods. You're Howard Stern, dude. I don't buy it.
Yeah, no, he's much more clever than that. Yeah,
right.
So do you feel like that's maybe what it is then? Like Artie's his animosity is just maybe because Howard didn't acknowledge it enough to, like, I don't know, help.
I think
and then kicking him off the show, obviously, because of his his problems and saying like this isn't it's better for him not to be here because it's almost like enabling him.
Well, it was, and that's the other thing. I think they both recognize that can't work again, because if it is, if he's in there and he's doing that job and he's making that money, and then he's under that pressure and stress that he feels from it, it's gonna go the same way it went the last time. It's just gonna happen every time.
Never ending.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
keep going.
Sad, but true.
Man. Yeah, it sucks, and man, It makes you feel bad just for everyone involved, because obviously
Yeah.
it was a great relationship, and obviously it worked on air, and it was, man, it really is a shame, how it played out, and it's sad, but it obviously they both moved on. I know Artie's doing a lot of like the sports stuff right now, and honestly, I don't know like current Artie. Do you know what he's doing these days?
Okay, well, I mean, because of Norm dying, I did hear him, and it was not faked. There's actually some audio out there. He talked about it. I don't know on what. The way he started it out was like as if he was actually doing an episode of his old podcast that he used to do. The Halfway House, Artie's Halfway House.
Yeah, yeah.
And he goes on to talk about Norm, and that's pretty much it. And I just heard that. And it sounded like him. If not, it's somebody doing a really good impersonation, and Sour does a really good impersonation of him. So it doesn't sound like Sour Shoes Artie doing art because he sounds more gravelly and like. If you notice, there's a way that he sounds different since he's had his nose caved in after all that shit,
Right.
and his voice quality has that thing where it sounds like he's kind of muted when he's talking a little bit like this. So it's a little strange, but it's kind of how he sounds now. And I mean, I don't know. Yeah. So he talked about that. I think it's just funny that everybody always had Artie in death pools like way ahead of everybody else, and he's beat so many people that he even fucking beat Norm. And who saw that shit coming, dude? I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. I would have never. If you asked me to put all my money in the bank, I'd have put my money on fucking Artie dying before. And I'm a gambling man. Shit, that's such an L to take. Now I realize that I should just bet like. If it's fucking Betty White versus Artie, I guess I better fucking take.
God.
I better. I don't know.
Just bet on Beetlejuice the whole way
Yeah,
through.
there you
You'll
go.
be good.
Beat will outlive everybody. I'll just bet all my money on Beetlejuice to live forever.
Oh, man. So looking at his Wikipedia, it says as of where did I just read? Oh, as of September of 2019, he's doing a new podcast. He later returned to public eye. He said he needs November 2020, he started a new podcast called Letters to Artie.
Yeah.
They did one episode, and then now Artie's he has a career hiatus. As of July of this year, 2021, he has remained sober for 2.5 years and continues with drug court rehabilitation program in New Jersey while living at home with his mother. So maybe he's just laying low right now. And hopefully staying sober, great. Hope it works out for him. Like I said, it's I love Artie. I wish no ill will towards him. I hope he conquers these demons. Yeah, comes back with something that he would just make us laugh again. And so yeah, good for him. Hopefully, July 2.5 years sober. That's great. Living with his mom. It's good stuff. So yeah, hopefully that keeps up. And like I said, it's just I don't know. We'll always obviously have these memories of Artie and time with the show, and listening now to the Scientology, they're always throwing up episodes. Obviously with him. Yeah, it's good stuff. It just looks like Artie was very much a main staple of the Howard Show, and too many great memories for sure.
Yeah, I mean maybe something about Norm dying will change something with him. Maybe not.
Maybe, yeah. Make him kind of wake up and be like, maybe I should talk to him.
Well, things do impact the guy because obviously his dad dying the way he did and him feeling responsible for that fucked him up. But I don't know.
God, the whole
I don't know how close he. I mean, even by his own admonition, if that was him talking about it that I heard on YouTube, by his own admonition, they didn't talk as much these days, but they were still friends. And they still, they still were friendly and chill with one another, but they just, I think the thing is too right now, I think he's just in deep seclusion because he's trying to stay sober and he knows spending any time in the light is going to get him back into old habits. And, if that's how he's got to live, I guess that's how he's got to live.
Yeah, which, and, more power to him and, hope, maintains that and, keeps it on the straight and narrow, as they say.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, that's our...
I think that's about it, man. That's our Artie talk for the week.
It's just I'm hoping we'll talk about him later. But yeah, that was.
Oh no, we're definitely going to talk about him some more because, like I said, there's a lot to unpack with Artie, and we can talk about Artie all day. it's just I think a good time to talk about him now with Norm passing and all.
Yeah.
So it was a good idea to segue that into.
You mentioned, you mentioned earlier how like Dirty Work is. I don't know. To me, it's just one of those movies you can put on and just I don't know. You'll laugh the whole way through because it's so goddamn ridiculous and funny, and it's them at their their movie peak for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always one that I'll always love that movie, and just, like, you think about it too. It's like God, that movie it can't be made nowadays with the whole like. Like the crossing guard touching kids' butts, that whole shit. And I don't know, there's so many great moments in that movie. And the whole Chris Farley
dude, with the bit off nose from the Saigon Horror. Oh my god, dude.
Goddamn.
Yeah, that movie. There's two really stupid movies that I could watch anytime, and it's that and Tom Green's fucking Freddy Got Fingered. I could watch that pretty much anytime. But yeah.
Or even like one of those to me is Orgasmo.
Oh Jesus, I love it, dude. I actually legit love that movie. Yeah, that and anything Trey Matt Cannibal the musical, love that.
Yeah. Did you ever were you able to see Book of Mormon?
No, I still haven't seen Book of Mormon.
Yeah, me neither. I would love to watch that one. Yeah, maybe if it's ever touring again, we all need to go check it out because it just looks like it's great.
Yeah, 100, dude. I want to do that for sure.
Yeah, if it's ever coming around again, we'll have to go check it out because I'm not one for musicals, but I don't know, that just looks great. And just coming from Orgasmo and just the whole Mormon, I don't know,
dude,
looks like good fun. So we'll have to make a date of that for sure.
God, now that movie's got to be over 20 years old, easy. Shit. Man.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh, time flies.
And I don't know if that ever came out like on Blu-ray. I have the DVD.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it ever came out on high def.
Somehow I don't think it's going to get a Criterion Collection release.
Or I can get it off 4K when it comes in. Yeah. God, freaking Ron Jeremy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's all in jail now. That's nuts, man.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
I don't know if he's Howard Stern adjacent enough for me to do an episode on Ron Jeremy, but that guy's fucked up. Maybe one day we'll just talk about Ron Jeremy for shits and giggles.
The only thing I remember about Howard talking about him was like, he said he has a filthy, dirty penis. Just like, yeah, he sure does.
Facts, dude.
Good stuff. Man. So are you been listening to like the current episodes?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. The Metallica with Miley Cyrus one was good.
Yeah, that was cool.
Steve Martin and Martin
Short. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yep.
So it's cool. It's I don't think that he'll ever go back into the studio. And I think that from now until he's done, because I think this is it. Once these last shows are up, I think he's done. Which is to me, it's well deserved. The dude's like 65.
Yeah.
It's time for him to retire, and it's just I feel I'm hoping that they'll keep his channels open and just replay the crap out of it. There's so much content out there, it can go on forever, and I'll keep listening. The stuff they have on Scientology right now, like those like 5.5 hour episodes where it's just bits and bits and bits. It's just all pieced together. There's like no promos or anything. It's just 5 hours of straight Howard. I love those. I download them and listen to them all day at work. So just I don't mind him retiring, and just I'll listen to them all day. So
I want to believe he'll retire. I think it would be a good time for him to do it now.
Yeah.
While the show's still good. You should always leave while you're still on top. If you're still on top.
Absolutely.
And
dude made a ton of money. It's like you can't. He's still making news. Like there's been the recent stuff of him calling the anti-vax assholes. And just I'm reading news stories about what he's saying. He talks shit about Joe Rogan. What I mean?
And
so he's still obviously relevant.
Yeah, and I think as long as he's still getting the attention and able to make it profitable, he'll keep doing it. And that's the thing. I don't think he actually will. Do I hope he would retire and just leave it like that and do a legacy channel thing and maybe let Sal and Richard have their own thing and other people from the show, and just split it up like that? That'd be cool. But he's probably going to be one of those guys who, even if he does retire in a few years, he'll get bored and come back to do something because he's just a busybody and he cannot stop.
It's true. And he even now is talking about how he wishes that the Sirius app had the go live option like Instagram does.
Yeah.
Where you just start broadcasting.
Yeah.
It's like, I would love that. And I don't know if you follow him on Twitter, but he does every year on New Year's. He'll say give me your phone number and I'll call you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I would love for him to get a phone call from him and Beth just on New Year's.
That
I
would
don't
be
know.
cool.
It would make my life, So yeah, just just stuff like that. It's like, I love it. And so yeah, just I don't know anything that has to do with Howard. And then when he was when they opened the new LA studios
Oh yeah,
recently, and he came down, like I was really hoping he was gonna have some type of like
like meet and greet thing.
out or just even like an outdoor I mean, I don't know, a live show, but just talk to
Hmm.
people. I was like, dude, I'm gonna call from work and I'm gonna drive to LA, and go and just to like look at Howard. I don't know, it's like that's it's so much love him. So
Yeah,
yeah, like you
even
said,
the last time they were here, I was trying to scheme a way. I was like, man, maybe if we like get a bunch of weed and we show up and we try to, how what's his name, freaking JD wanted to go get high, and I was like, maybe
all
if
right.
maybe we could like talk him into letting us get JD high, so that way we
Oh
could
man,
somehow get on the show. But then I was like, nah,
right.
it's not gonna work out.
Oh man,
Forget it.
yeah,
The other thing I've thought is I can call into the show and prank them, but I don't know. I'd have to get through. It might be
or even
okay.
just like I don't
For
know, be a
old time's
regular
sake,
caller. Like yeah, even just I mean maybe
Oh,
one of
just
these
be a
days just
regular
try and
caller?
call.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, just ask a question or make a comment or whatever's going on.
Yeah.
Or even me, it's like but obviously it's hard for us because he's 4 a.m. I think is when he starts over.
I mean, sometimes
Over
I'm
here.
up anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, sometimes I'm up,
so
so
yeah,
I've thought about it. But
yeah.
I end up being lazy about it and not calling. I haven't done it, I haven't tried to call the show in a
Yeah.
long time.
Oh man,
It's been a while.
that's always been a great memory of us in Howie's car. Oh, I'll never forget that, man. That was so
I
great.
do, yeah. Now it's making me want to call the show. Just for shits and giggles and be like,
Yeah, is it just I don't know, just honestly to be like hey, we got Tony in L.A.
yeah.
or Marbello, like what do you have to say, and just I don't know, hearing you on the show would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Just it'd be a great highlight. So yeah, I mean, and like I said, I wouldn't mind, but that's a little too early for my blood. These kids and everything. So
Yeah,
man,
you
that'd
got
be
your,
cool
things
for
to
sure.
do. Yeah, I feel you, dude.
Any just I don't know, any interaction with Howard would just be fantastic. Like
Yeah.
or there was a time where I actually was able to go to the Liquid Metal, the metal station on Sirius.
Oh wow.
I won like I don't know if it was like a contest, but I won a thing to go to like an album release party,
Mm-hmm.
and it was in Seal Beach with the guy's name is Jose Mangan, who's spoken to Howard a couple times, and he I was able to go and like, he had the Sirius studio there and his whole thing, and yeah, he had a Flat Ronnie there. I was able to take a picture with Flat Ronnie.
That's cool.
He had like a signed picture of Howard, and it's just it's, I guess in a way the closest I've ever gotten. It's like Al Bundy, meet the man who met. What was it, Matlock or no? It was Andy Griffith.
Yeah, there you
It
go.
was like that. Yeah, I met the man who met Howard. It's like it was like the weird like degree of separation. So it's just it's like like I said, the closest I've gotten. But yeah, so I got a cool picture with the. Oh, and actually, I tweeted Ronnie with my picture with Flat Ronnie, and he actually liked it and retweeted. It was great. It was a cool highlight of of my dumb life. So yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah, well,
Freaking
hopefully,
funny. We'll have a
I'm hoping one day I actually get to meet Artie, but I mean that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know when the possibility of that'll happen because I don't think he's going to come out of seclusion anytime soon.
yeah. I don't know. Honestly, any of those dudes. I don't know.
Oh yeah, any of them.
Anyone like Fred. I don't know.
Actually,
I'd love to meet Fred.
I think it
you know
would
what
be advantageous for me to meet like Sal and Richard because if they wanted to hear me do my dumb jackass voices and shit,
Right.
maybe they'd like them enough to want me to actually help them do some pranks or something. But
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
I only because I used to do that a lot, and I would that is like dream come true material for me right there.
Oh
Like,
my god. Yeah.
yeah, when I was
And honestly, yeah, you would help so much. Dog. Just what in terms of like your accents and just I don't know the way you're able to change your. It could be a very good benefit to their phone call.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we can always dream
Yeah.
until next time.
Yeah,
Anyway,
for sure. It's good stuff, and like I said, we'll keep listening. And yeah, it's just
Yep.
I love Howard.
And on that note,
Oh, man.
let's wrap it on up. And
All right.
let's thank everybody for joining us. We'll do that whole thing we do on our other show, where if you want to give out your information on where people can find you, contact you, and say hello or see you when you're gaming and
anywhere,
whatnot, let them know.
Anywhere online, I'm under. Hit me up, and I'm always down to talk Howard. So if you're a big Howard fan, hit me up. I don't have enough instances to talk about Howard, and this is a great time for me to talk to you and just anyone about Howard. So yeah, anyone is interested, look me up. I'm Underground Graves, and yeah, let's talk. What about you, pal?
Well, everybody can find me at Destructive Criticism pretty much everywhere. And you can find me on... you can also find us here at Book of Stern, HTJC. And that is on here, YouTube, and hopefully soon to be Spotify, but I'm still working that out.
Cool.
So, yeah,
right.
That's about it.
All right.
So, hopefully...
good show, pal. That was fun.
Yeah, that was great.
Just
see y'all next week.
All right, bye, everybody.